It's really disgusting and sad what happened to this poor man out of Olathe in the wake of last Wednesday's shooting at the Super Bowl parade. Good morning. Happy Monday, President's Day. So if you are off today, stream us at home from your home office. If you're working from home today, at KCMOTalkRadio.com and the Alexa, on the Google, on the app. So many of you have seen the photo of the man in the red jumpsuit. He was in a hoodie and red sweatpants, and he was under arrest last Wednesday. That photo went worldwide. And that photo happened to be a 44-year-old man from Olathe. His name is Denton Loudermill. Now, Denton Loudermill was arrested because he was intoxicated, as, by the way, was half the place as far as I could tell. I mean, gosh, you know, you could have arrested Willie Gay for public intoxication, and Travis Kelce couldn't stand up straight. So don't give me the holier than thou, but he was drunk. Okay, the whole place was trashed. It was kind of embarrassing, but I won't get into that right now. So his image starts circulating. And people on the right side of the aisle start claiming, this rumor started that he was an illegal immigrant and that he was involved in this shooting. Now, he looks to be mixed race, something like that, and it spread like wildfire online. I had people sending this to me saying, hey, did you see this? And you had outlets, I mean, people on social media. And by the way, you had Missouri state senators, not U.S. senators, state senators, who were like, close the border. I mean, they looked like such jackasses. And I just sat back and it's like, guys, you don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. Law enforcement has not told us who that is. So what are you doing jumping to a conclusion based on social media fodder? I mean, the people that were jumping on that are no better than the grifters who are using this tragedy for gun control. If you went off a social media rumor on some guy under arrest at the parade who you thought was involved in the shooting, and you thought he was an illegal immigrant, and you used that to further your narrative about the border, you are no better than those who are using this to further a narrative about gun control. And by the way, here's the big difference in those two, I will add. The border doesn't need further ammunition. Maybe that's the wrong word to use. But we don't need more reasons, more facts to back up why we should close the southern border. Like, we don't need this little story in Kansas City to further that narrative. That narrative writes itself. We see it play out every day. They need to latch on to something now for gun control. They always do, so they use this. But why you would jump to this conclusion on this individual to further a narrative on the border with no facts to back it up is so wildly irresponsible. And there are people in prominent positions, specifically in the state of Missouri, who did just that. Meantime, Channel 9 KMBC did a good job putting together a package on Denton Loudermill from Olathe, and here's what it sounded like.
I just want to clear my name that I had nothing to do with anything.
The man in the photos is Denton Loudermill. He's an Olathe native, a father of three, and a proud Chiefs fan. He's not a mass shooter.
I was just enjoying myself like everybody else.
Mr. Denton was wrongly identified as being the mass shooter at the Kansas City Chiefs parade.
Lorana Lassiter-Saunders is advocating on his behalf. She says officers detained him for being intoxicated and not moving from the crime scene.
Mr. Denton had several drinks, but so did 500,000 other people, including some of the Chiefs players. It's not a crime. It doesn't make you a mass shooter.
She says officers eventually let him go without a citation or an official arrest. But the narrative online has painted a different picture and put his life in danger.
Because Mr. Denton has received death threats over a lie, over misinformation. He didn't do anything wrong. He did not commit a crime. So please, run tell that. Get the truth out there. Help us clear his name. Help us save his life.
That's Channel 9 KMBC with that report on Denton Loudermill, Olathe man red jumpsuit at the parade. Photo went viral. Some insisted he was an illegal immigrant. He's an Olathe native. He's a father of 3 daughters, and he was and is a proud Chiefs fan who just happened to be drunk and got arrested. That's all he is. That's all he ever was. But by the way, I mean, you had people in the Missouri State Senate, including the organization, the Missouri Freedom Caucus, who I agree with a lot of what they want to get done. But the Missouri Freedom Caucus was retweeting this account, Deep Truth Intel. By the way, if you have the word truth in your Twitter account, you're probably full of crap. You're probably a bot. They literally retweeted this account, Deep Truth Intel, which insisted this guy was a 44-year-old illegal immigrant named Sahil Omar. They just made it up. They legitimately made it up. That's all they did.
I've seen that name float around at different shootings around the nation.
Yes. So just so you're all aware, because I know some of you, don't believe you'd ever be lied to on social media. People who want to make up stuff about shooters or who people's backgrounds are, the name Sahil Omar often gets used. It literally is a made-up name that when people want to promote something insane like that, they use the name Sahil Omar. So the Missouri Freedom Caucus, which once again, I appreciate what they stand for, but whoever runs their Twitter account is a moron and should have been fired yesterday. That person retweets this picture from Deep Truth Intel and says, is one of the alleged shooters an illegal immigrant? The POTUS, meaning President's open border policy, and Kansas City's sanctuary city status are squarely to blame for these violent acts if this is true. We must close the border and protect Missouri from violent criminals. I mean, all that is true, but you don't have to go off of a fake Twitter account's narrative to further your point. And by the way, you had other people sharing this in the Missouri State Senate. Denny Hoskins, up north, running for Secretary of State. Rick Bratton to our south, Cass County. Nick Schroer, I don't know where he's from. You literally had 3 people in the state Senate promoting a lie with no facts to back it up because, well, I saw it on Twitter. It must be true. I mean, I wouldn't trust that person to serve me dinner after seeing how, they just take what they see in a random Twitter account as gospel. I mean, this is no better than the left-wing grifters like Manny Abarca and so many who have done nothing but take this from the moment it happened before we had blood dry and scream about gun control. And the craziest part is you don't need to do it. There's so much evidence to back up why the border should be closed. So much. It's becoming more and more bipartisan by the day. The only way to screw it up is to do stuff like this. 913-408-7957. And seriously, whoever runs the Missouri Freedom Caucus's Twitter and social media should be out of work. This is so embarrassing on so many levels for them. And it is for anybody who just bought this hook, line, and sinker. 913-408-7957. We know we have 2 juveniles in custody. We know that they are likely to be charged as adults, and then we will find out much more about who they are, their backgrounds, and listen, I'm hearing a lot of different things, but we're going to do the responsible thing and wait till we have all the facts in front of us. That's what we're going to do.